Hello and welcome to training video 2 in week 1 of our Success in 6 group coaching program. And again, I'm ridiculously excited, which you'll find out happens quite a lot. And what we're going to discuss in this training is why being you is your only option for success. Not options there, it's just your only option. You have one option for success. And this is a really exciting training because it's actually about growing your confidence, reminding you that business has changed, which we looked at in the first training video, but also what it means for you as a solopreneur and how you can take advantage of that. So the purpose of today's training, it really is to understand why there's been a shift and why authentic entrepreneurs are changing the world and how you can abandon perfectionitis and embrace the real you. And I'll tell you how you can abandon perfectionitis. Normally, I would see a typo and have a heart attack, but today it's more about the content that I deliver and how passionate I am and how much you can learn from it, than a spelling mistake here and there. And that's essentially what modern day business is about. It's no longer about striving for perfection. It's about just being you and not being apologetic about being yourself and just getting on with it, because that's essentially what people relate to, because there's absolutely no one out there that is considered perfect. So what will we cover today? What we'll cover today is why you have to be the real you, why it is an absolute non-negotiable that you have to be the real you, and we'll look at some examples there. But how to be an authentic entrepreneur, because again, we've grown up with people who we thought were authentic, and all of a sudden our dreams were shattered when we looked at Jimmy Savile, Bill Cosby, various TV, film and music stars who turned out to have drug problems. All of these people that we grew up thinking they had it all, weren't they perfect, didn't they have great lives, actually didn't. So we don't really know what authenticity means anymore because we've been lied to for years. So we're going to look at how you can be an authentic entrepreneur. Then we want to look at how to determine your business story. And this is going to take a wee bit of time because we're going to delve deep and we're going to mine your brain for all of the information so that you actually know what is your real business story so that you can stand for something. Because the beauty of standing for something is what's going to connect you to your customers. Gone are the days of everyone pleasing absolutely everyone. That vanilla, just be a plain Jane, don't upset the apple cart. That way of running a business is absolutely over. And nowadays you have to stand for something which is absolutely magical and what to do next. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the real me. Now, you know me, and I hope by now you know what I stand for. And I basically stand for selling more by being yourself. I don't believe in all of the bullshit that's out there, that you have to look a certain way, you have to act a certain way, you have to have a list with thousands of people on it, you have to have a massive launch. I do believe there's numerous ways of building businesses, but the most important thing is that you feel comfortable in what you're doing and that you feel confident in what you're doing. There's loads of people out there that say you don't need to know that much about sales and marketing, you can pay someone else to do it. I passionately disagree with that. You have to understand business, you have to understand sales and marketing. Even if you're paying someone else, you want to know it's good value for money. And also you want to feel connected to your business and know what's happening. So what I really, really care about is women having confidence and confidence running their own businesses so they know exactly what to do next. And what that basically means is that you take ownership and you don't surrender. You don't pass the buck of accountability onto a coach, onto a friend, onto someone else. You are the only one that's responsible for the success of your business, and only you. And it's those internal factors that we'll work through in this course so that we can build your confidence. So let's look at why you have to be the real you. Why is it so important? Why can't you just be a fake you? Why can't you just adopt branding that looks pretty, put out generic messages, put out something that seems really people pleasing and build a business? And the truth is, consumers are bored of perfection. Gone are the days where that one person will appeal to absolutely everyone. We're starting to see new Hollywood stars coming out right now because people are bored with the same blonde hair, blue eyes that Hollywood has forced upon us for years. People like something that's quirky. Again, I'll use the example that we used in the earlier training. Even if you look at TV detectives, TV detectives from the 70s and 80s like to smoke a cigarette and drive around in a car and be a bit cool. Nowadays, every TV detective has got a different personality trait. So it can relate to other people, so it can relate to minorities. We won't touch on the formulaic plot, which I hate, but it is about considering that consumers are bored of perfection, and they're bored of it in every avenue, from our celebrities to the people we aspire to be like and to the businesses that we support. So I've got a question for you. And the question is, who would you rather be? Kim Kardashian or Cameron Diaz? Now, you don't have to answer that. There's no right or wrong answer. But I'm going to put it to you in this way. If Cameron Diaz released a sex tape tomorrow, or an ex-boyfriend released a sex tape tomorrow, her career would be over. Because her personality and her celebrity is built on the idea that she's perfect. It's built on the idea that she is blonde hair, blue eyes, went out with Justin Timberlake for a wee while, flies under the radar. And what that actually means is she is boring. I'm sure she's a lovely person, but as a celebrity, she is boring. She brings nothing to the table, and actually there's nothing to talk about when it comes to Cameron Diaz. Think about it. What would you talk about? Oh, she looks quite good for her age. Oh, she's got great legs. I think she's gone a bit far with the plastic surgery and the Botox. Her mouth's looking a wee bit wide. I'm not saying these things to be horrible. I'm saying these things because they're the only things I see written about her. Maybe sometimes you'll see things written about her like, is she pregnant or will she ever get married? Now, then we look at Kim Kardashian, and I would strongly recommend that you read The Kim Kardashian Principle. I've got a cover of the book there. And it talks about someone who has basically paved the way for a fantastic career for herself. She is absolutely amazing at breaking the mold, being herself. Now, I'm not saying I aspire to be like her, or I know that too many people that do, but you've got to hand it to her, she's authentic. She doesn't care what people think. She is totally herself. And because of that, any drama could come out, like short marriages, her stepdad becoming a transsexual or choosing to live his life as a woman. All of these things can come out of the woodwork, and they don't actually harm her celebrity status because she doesn't hide it. She is totally herself at all times. So for me, I would much rather be Kim Kardashian because, yes, my persona mightn't be as perfect as someone like Cameron Diaz, but at least I know I was being me. And at least if I made a mistake, I would be honest enough to own up to it. And actually, if you look at what's happening in the newspapers right now, over the past few months, there's been so many articles on the royal family leading up to the 20th anniversary of Princess Diana's death. And what we're starting to notice now, that even the royal family are changing. It's no longer about this perfection. It's no longer about them being unattainable. They're turning around and telling you the truth. We're not perfect. We struggled when our mom died. It was really, really difficult. We did have depression, and we're human. We're just like you. Because even the royal family know that perfection doesn't exist, and people are skeptical of it and they're bored of it. So why are you trying to be a perfectionist in your business? Why are you trying to wait until everything's perfect before you launch? Why do you want everything to be absolutely perfect before you do your Facebook posts, before you send out your emails, before you send out promotions? Because being the real you is the only way to be competition proof, because there's only one of you. And essentially all of the information, knowledge, expertise, everything in the world is already available. Nothing I will teach you isn't already out there in an open forum. Nothing you will teach others or nothing you can produce for other people is not already out there. The only thing that's different is your approach and what you bring. And that's what resonates with people. People care about different opinions. People care about different takes on things because they want to work with people who are just like them. And also, it's fun to be the real you. You can say the wrong thing. It doesn't mean that you're going to offend anyone. It doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. But when you're being the real you, it's much easier to run your business. And let's face it, running your business is hard enough without being afraid that somebody's going to catch you out. And I will openly tell you, I am far from perfect in running my business, but I'm me. and that's absolutely all that matters. So here's the book that I just mentioned, The Kim Kardashian Principle. I love this book. I read this book on my holiday recently to Turkey. And on the way on the holiday, I bought the book and I hid it. I hid the cover because I didn't want anyone to see me reading a book called The Kim Kardashian Principle. I bought it because it was a business and sales book and it was quite modern, so I thought I'd learn something new. This book is right up there. It's clawed its way into my top 5 business books ever. And basically, it gives you lots of advice on how to be the real you. And you'll notice there he takes us through the selfie, SELFIE, and how you can, through surprise, exposure, lead, flaws, intimate, and execute. And basically, he provides a framework for you being the real you, and I'll give you a brief synopsis of it now. First of all, you want to surprise people. You want to be unique and innovative and make no apologies. And essentially, we're all unique. We're all ourselves. We all bring something different to the table. But 9 times out of 10, we hide it because we don't see it out there in an open forum. So we think, oh my God, people won't like that. Actually, people will love that. When Kim Kardashian first came on the scene, all of the Hollywood stars, had acting careers, were slim, blonde hair, blue eyes. We had Reese Witherspoon. She was friends with Paris Hilton. All of these people that actually were very samey. And she came along and she took the world by shock by just being herself with lovely dark skin, lovely dark hair, and absolutely stood out from the crowd. The next step on being the real you is to expose yourself. But actually, just expose the real you. It's better to be overexposed than edited. I would much rather tell the truth and have it out there than to edit a lie to make it look like a fake truth. And that's what she does with everything. She's honest about her broken down marriages. She tells you everything there is to know through her TV shows. So we can actually use social media. We might want to share what we had for dinner, some of us might, but how can we expose ourselves? How can we tell people who we really are? Give them a glimpse to the real person and actually say, this is the real me. Because again, people want to know that you're normal. People want to know that you're human. And nowadays in business, people want to see absolutely everything. And even in businesses, it's better to expose yourself. The next one is to lead. And again, it ties in with that surprise. Become your own leader and don't be afraid to pave the way. If no one is doing something like what you're doing, just go ahead with it. You have to lead yourself. You have to decide, these are the rules. I make these rules. It might not work for everyone, but I'm going to absolutely do this. Then we want you to embrace your flaws. Nobody is perfect. I curse so much. And I know my mother is going to kill me when she hears this, but that's absolutely okay. My spell check is absolutely horrendous despite downloading various apps, and I will try every day to send out an email or a Facebook post or a blog without a spelling mistake, and it never happens. And I'm okay with that. I embrace the fact that it's about the content and the quality of the content rather than 1 or 2 spelling mistakes. It's not for everyone, but I'm absolutely fine. You want to be intimate. It's no longer about exclusivity. It's not about these celebrities or these businesses that seem so far away that you cannot connect with them. They live behind these curtains and you don't know anything about them. Nowadays with business and celebrities, we know what they eat for dinner, where they go on nights out, what they drink. Instagram means we feel like they're our best friends. And that's absolutely fantastic because it means you relate to more people. And we want you to do the same as a business owner. How can you be intimate with your customers? How can you show them exactly what it's like to work with you? How can you give them that glimpse of how amazing you are through your social media, through your blogs, through your promotion, etc. And last but not least, the running theme in all of my training, execute. Take action and make it happen. Kim Kardashian waits for absolutely no one. The best businesses in the world wait for absolutely no one. You cannot afford to wait for anyone. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink of water. Now, in case you're wondering, does this entire book talk about Kim Kardashian? No, absolutely not. This book gives loads of examples from business, politics, history. It is absolutely amazing. Like I say, I read so many books each month, and the fact that this was at number 1 for quite some time, but it's just been pipped to the post for number 1. I love this book. You have to read it. It's absolutely exquisite. And when you're reading a book like this, if it doesn't jump out at you straight away, don't continue. Put it away and pick it up when you feel that you need it. Because the thing about books like this is it always has a lesson for when you need it. And I think for me, I just needed it at a right time when I really wanted to focus on being the real me in my business. So in order to be the real you, you need to have a business story. And you need to share that business story. You need to live and breathe that business story, because essentially this is what makes you you. Now, these questions are in your workbook, but basically I'm going to help you determine your business story, and I want you to dig deep for the answers to all of these questions. I don't want you in any way to kind of say, oh, the answer to question 1, why did you start your business, was for money, because I know that that's not true. I absolutely know 110% that you did not start your business for money, or not only money anyway. There's probably been a few reasons as to why you did. But what we want to see is we want to see a glimpse into the real person. We want to see a glimpse into what makes you so special. So when we're looking at why did you start your own business, it could be answers like you didn't want to go to work for someone else, you wanted to fulfill your potential, you wanted to make more money. Dig deep and be honest, because this has a massive impact on how you run your business. Because I know, working with female entrepreneurs, most of them that I work with, they didn't start their business for money. They started their business as part of a road of self-discovery. They realised there was more to life. They realised there was more out there, and they wanted to create a better life for themselves. And I want to see more of that coming across in your copy and in your marketing. If you generate results for people, and again, this could be through a product-based business whereby you sell a product, or this could be through a services-based business, describe a time when you struggled to create the results for yourself that you so easily achieve for clients now. So if you provide coaching or training, when were you not good at this? When were you not as good as you are now, so you can relate back to your client or your potential customer? If you provide a product-based business, maybe it's when you actually bought this product, or you've had a friend or family buy this product and it was absolutely grotesque. It was of a poor standard, it wasn't great, and how that made that person feel or how that made you feel. Write that down. If you've always been good at what you do, perhaps you've always been good at selling, or you've always been good at training, maybe you want to describe another time when you've overcome a struggle that seemed almost impossible to conquer to get the results that you wanted. And again, this is for everyone to kind of get to the bottom of what it feels to face a challenge. It's not just in your business that you're going to face challenges. What did it feel like? The next question is, what do you love to do in your work? What makes you jump out? And actually, what are you really, really passionate about in your job? For me, it's seeing the look on people's face when they take on their first clients. It's seeing the looks on people's face when they make massive progress in their business. I absolutely love that. But we also have to acknowledge, when answering this question, is that's probably only going to take up 10% of what you do in your business. 90% of your time will be spent behind the scenes, slugging away, working hard. And you just have to accept that that's just life. We spend 90% of the time doing the hard stuff so we can have that 10% of just enjoying what we love. And it's the same for absolutely everyone who's successful. Beyonce certainly doesn't spend all of her time on stage. U2 don't spend all of their time on stage. They travel, they do press interviews, they work hard, they write songs, they do absolutely everything. So no one spends their entire time doing what they love. But it's important that you know what you love. What do you very passionately stand against? Yes, I want to know what you don't like. So when you love something in your business, what is the opposite of that? And think, why do you not like it? Maybe you very passionately stand against people who have a poor quality cake at birthday parties because it tastes like muck and it ruins the photographs. Maybe you passionately stand against people who cut corners when it comes to designing their own wedding, because it means they don't get the best possible photos. Maybe you very passionately, like I do, stand against people buying into the concept of a magic pill to run their business, spending lots of money that they don't have and actually never been taught what to do to generate results. So if you stand for something, you have to stand against something as well, and it's normally just the opposite. Then I want you to describe yourself now and in the future. We're all going through massive changes in who we are. So write down a list of maybe 10 words that you'd use to describe yourself. And if you're not sure, ask a friend. And then write down about 10 words you'd use to describe yourself in the future. Because we want to know what journey you're facing, what kind of changes you want to make. You're not just going to stay where you are now. Maybe in a year's time, you want people to describe you something absolutely different, but we need to know what they are. The next question is, what is your zone of genius? Yes, what are you absolutely amazing at? What are you so fantastic at that you don't even realize you're good at it? If you're not sure of the answer of this, ask a close friend, because they will be so honest with you. But chances are you are fantastic at something and you don't even know it. What do you really want people to understand about you and your industry? So what is it essential that you help people unearth? What is it you help people understand? Maybe it's the beauty of living a simple life. Maybe it's the beauty of not having excess belongings. Maybe it's the beauty of proper training. Maybe it's the beauty of paying someone to do the work in your business that you don't have the time to do, so it frees you up to go after sales and marketing. Find out what you really want people to understand. And then I want to get your confidence going. I want you to be really confident and tell me what's your biggest success. It could be in your personal life or in your business, but tell me what makes you feel the most proudest that you've ever felt. Before we dig deep and we're totally honest with what's the one thing that's holding you back from success in your business and life, be honest. You know there's something holding you back. You know there's a reason why you've not achieved the success you want so far. And it's about actually acknowledging that so that we can come to terms with it and tell it to actually do one. But before we do that, we need to know what it is, because there's probably something internal there that we need to overcome. And we'll only know that once we identify it. So our last set of questions to determine your business story. How would you describe what you do to a stranger? Or I like the how would you describe what you do to a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old? But essentially, if you met someone in the street, how would you describe what you do so that they would absolutely understand it? Is there a time when someone has doubted your ability or belittled your efforts in your business or in your life? How did that make you feel? And the benefit of this question is it helps you understand your client if they've ever been belittled. Maybe they were told they couldn't have the business of their dreams. Maybe they were told they couldn't train their staff in a certain way. Whatever the case may be, describe a time when you've experienced that. Oh, and I have the same question in there twice, so we'll ignore that. And then imagine that you've hit your big business goals already. What does that look like? And this is probably more of your big business vision, because in the next training we'll move on to the goals, so you might want to come back to this question. But what is your life like now that you've hit those big business goals? What does that look like and how do you feel? So we spoke passionately about the fact that we want you to be an expert and that you very much are an expert in your industry. Even if you don't feel like an expert, we discussed this in the training, everyone is an expert to someone. Get clear on that. Regardless of what happens, everyone is an expert for someone. And I spoke about preparing to have my first child, that the expert I'm going to is my sister. She doesn't have 5 kids, she doesn't have 10 kids, she has 1. But the reason I see her as an expert is because personality-wise we're very similar. And she mothers or parents her child in a way that aligns with my values. So for me, she's an expert. Whereas there might be people out there with 10 kids and they might be the most best behaved kids in the world and they might juggle all of these things, but I don't see them as an expert. So redefine what it means to be expert. It just means that you have a clear understanding of what your customers want and you know how to help them achieve it. That's what it is to be an expert. You just understand your customers. You are an expert. You have to start acting like one. And then we want you to stop playing small. Up your game and believe in yourself. Trust me, anyone can be an expert, but not everyone acts like an expert. So you have to stop playing small. And when you're talking about experts, they take the focus off you. So if you're chatting to a client, you're not there thinking, oh my God, do they know that I've only done this 5 times? And oh my God, do they know that I'm new at business? No, it's not about that. It's about helping them and think, oh my God, I'm so excited that this is the 5th person I get to help. Oh my God, I'm so excited that I've not come across this before, but I know that I've got enough ideas and experience to be able to help them. We want you to use systems to cement your expert status, and we'll come on to this in implementation week. We'll give you loads of different systems. I want you to start selling the truth. What is the truth? And again, the truth is what you stand for, and what you passionately stand against is your truth, and that's what you're going to sell. And when it comes to being an expert, it's about using your secret weapon, and that's you. So, how do we stand for something? Because it's actually quite daunting, isn't it, when someone says, I want you to stand for something, and you kind of envisage having an argument with someone or a standoff or not getting along really well with them. It's not really about that. It's if you're an expert, you have to stand for something or against something. Now, we're not going to be Donald Trump and offend half the world here, but equally, people pleasers are no longer successful. It's about the perfectionitis. People don't want someone who's perfect. They want someone who tells it like it is in a way that they understand and relate to. So as an expert, you have to stand for or against something, for the thing you love or against the thing you hate. And you share your views even when others don't agree with them. Now, I'm not saying that we want to offend anyone, but what we can say is I am an expert, and as an expert I have opinions, and I'm going to share those opinions. Those opinions might be on nutrition. As an expert, I passionately believe in the power of plant-based nutrition. Or as an expert, I passionately believe in the power of eating lots of meat protein. You know, people will come along and say, oh my God, you cannot just eat plants, or oh my God, you cannot eat meat. People will come along and say that, but all that means is that you're getting noticed. Because here's the disclaimer. Once you start being you, once you start being really, really authentically you, no one appeals to everyone. You're going to attract some criticism, especially from people who are holding back. And you just have to ignore it. No, I mean ignore it. Because it's actually good news. Because it means people are taking notice, and you are no longer too vanilla. See there, my spell mistakes have come in there. So what it basically means is that people are really, really starting to take notice of you, and you're no longer trying to please absolutely everyone. Because if you're trying to please everyone, you'll please no one. If a family of 7 came into a restaurant and they were all ordering a meal, no one in that family of 7 is going to order the same dish. It's just not going to happen. But what probably would happen is a few of them would order a burger or maybe the pasta or the lasagna, but other people would be like, I don't want that. I definitely don't want that. You're never going to please absolutely everyone. It's like if you go in a group to a movie, or if you're going to group to a certain nightclub or on a certain holiday, it never pleases absolutely everyone. But there's always someone in the group that absolutely loved it. And there's always another person in the group that absolutely hated it. And that's absolutely fine by us, so long as the people that absolutely love it become our ideal client. So what do you need to do now? And in your workbook, we've got a list of all of those questions that I need you to answer. But I want you to look at how can you look at modern day entrepreneurs differently? It's like your business model. It's like your types of business that we spoke about in the last training. You can see old versus new. But how can you look and think, okay, are these people truly being themselves or are they not? And when they're truly being themselves, you want to list all of the benefits of being you in your business. How could it help you? How could it be the best thing ever? And then get clear on your business story. And by getting clear on your business story, it's just basically about totally understanding what it is that you do and actually why it is that you do it, so that you can use this as inspiration and motivation going forward. Okay, that is the end of training 2, and I will see you shortly for video training number 3.